Do you like my YouTube videos? If you do, please leave a comment and actually click on the like button. And if you want, you can hit subscribe. That way you can stay up to date with all my YouTube videos. Hey, and go ahead and click that bell icon to be notified. Thanks. Take care, guys. Hey everybody, so this is day 2. I'm being kind of quiet because it's early in the morning. Most of the reptiles are asleep. But I thought we'd check on RC here. And even though I'm being quiet, you can see it kind of woke her up. But for day 1, we put her in her cage. We didn't really mess with her. She instantly climbed up on that basking rock when the light was on. And she stayed there, from what I can tell, the entire day. And just slept all through the night. She's doing really well. We had there's a temperature probe hooked up to a thermometer that's right there above her. And then that runs to a ceramic heat emitter that I had focused on that rock. So if during the night the temperature were to drop below 70 degrees Fahrenheit, it would kick on to make sure that area stayed kind of warm. It never dropped that low. It got to about, I think, the coldest it got in this room that she was in her tank was about 77 degrees, which is well within the safety zone of the cool temp for them at night, so no big deal, which is fine. Most of my reptiles have a thermometer with some type of nighttime heat light, just in case, the air conditioner were to ever malfunction or something got too cold or a door was left open, that they would be controlled, but most of the time they don't run. If we take the heat probe and we go ahead and we get some temps of her, this is right on her back, 76.5. The stone that she's laying on, 76.5. The ground around her, 76. So well within the safety temperature for her. So it looks like she's done really well through the night here. And I thought we'd go on and we'd do a continuation from day 1. And this video would be day 2. And we'll go into feeding her and giving her some of her the liquid and everything, so that immune system booster, and we'll make some observations of how she was in day 2. And I don't want to go into too much of it now until the light comes on in about an hour, so I'm just going to walk away and let her stay on her own. But I'm taking you guys through the entire journey, so from day 1 through day 2, we're going to do it all together until she's, normal and going. Alright guys, welcome back to the second part of the day 2 video, and you can see RC is awake now. The mercury vapor bulb's on, so we see the green film again, and we're going to just get ready to open it up here, but like I said, I wanted to point out that temperature probe. So with that, the mercury vapor bulb going, and now it's almost 5 p.m. in the evening here. The temperature right at the probe is about 83.5 degrees. Now that's obviously not centered, and it's underneath the little lip of the tank that's there, but that gives us a good guess as the temperature around her. So because we're still trying to dial in being day 2 and having her come, halfway through the day of day 1, we're still trying to dial in this temp to be just perfect for her. So we're going to go ahead and open up this glass. We're going to get our temp probe, and we're going to give a couple readings in the tank here. Alright, so we got about 87 in the bottom of the tank, 86.5 right below the actual basking rock. So I'm going to guess that it's probably going to be a little hot. Yeah, okay, so we're not bad. 90.5 on the hottest spot that I could grab on the actual basking platform. And she's sitting at about 93 directly underneath. So it's a little bit warmer than I like to have for the bearded dragons. But that's fine. It's easily adjustable because I will just raise the mercury vapor bulb just a little bit. There we go. So we'll go up by about an inch. And we'll retighten everything. Now the nice thing is, unlike waiting for stuff to heat up, in terms of getting things cool, that actually happens quite fast. So raising that up about an inch, we can come back and test in about 10 minutes and we'll get an accurate temp of where that is. Because her body, she's not going to hold a lot of heat if she were to move and things like that. And same thing, the newspaper is not going to hold a lot of heat, so we can get a really good temp in that short of a time. So what I didn't do day one is I didn't attempt to feed her. Now, remember, she was being fed super worms only with very little bits of vegetables. Now, I like super worms only as treats, and these are not bad looking super worms, so we may offer these as treats to other reptiles, but not to her. We're not even going to offer it as food for her, but look at her interest is peaked up, by the way. So I go to the bug staple because she does look, I know I took her weight, but she does look like she's a little loose. Again, she did lay a clutch of eggs, so maybe she just hadn't been eating. But I want to see what her appetite is, and having her settled in from the move and all the diarrhea and everything, I went ahead and I grabbed, I don't know, I would say these are medium to medium large size dubia roaches. I grabbed about 8. And they're in not only the calcium powder with D3, but also a multivitamin. Now, I was told she's not a great eater. 2 super worms every once in a while, and maybe we'll pick out a veggie. I'm going to try to offer her food. I am going to try to offer it straight to her. Now, she did have that food tray, and sometimes with bearded dragons, you can get them to try new things if you associate one item with food. So a lot of times with my bearded dragons, they associate my hands with feeding for almost all of them. So I can get them to try almost anything if I present it to them as food. I'm going to try presenting her some food. We'll see what happens, only because she looks hungry. Just, if you have a bearded dragon, you can see her interest, the way she turned her head, the way she's looking at this. And 1 to 2 super worms a day doesn't feel to me, for a 5-year-old, a full-size female that's laid a clutch of eggs, and a clutch of eggs the year before, that would be adequate for a meal. The other thing is, not knowing how long she was without UV, the lack of UV and the lack of proper heat could have kept her hunger down and not be accurate. So having, a day's worth of great heat and great UV, it's going to be interesting to tackle this. So I'm not going to give her too much. Like I said, I grabbed these 8. Let's go ahead and do these 8. She may even want more, but this is where I'm going to stay. I don't want her to be so hungry where she just gorges on these and then she has to throw up because she's eaten too much because she's so hungry. So we're going to gradually try to bring this food into her. And I don't know, maybe she's going to have none. Like I said, I want to bring you guys every day of the journey for at least the major days where I do something that's not rinse and repeat. Let's bring you along the way, all right? So we'll see some repetitive things happen each day, but then hopefully there'll be something new each day. So today is a feeding. So we're going to try with this roach, and we'll see what happens. She may not want it. Don't know. She's looking right at it. Okay. That's interesting. So you saw she stuck her tongue out a little bit. She looked at it. She looked like she was going to eat it. She put her tongue out like she was going to grab it, and then she stopped. Now, to me, that's a reaction of some hunger, but she might not associate it with the roach. So we're going to try again. That was an interesting reaction. Well, this is interesting. She went for it again, kind of missed, and now she's closing her eyes. This is interesting. So again, went for it again, and then kind of just backed off. Let me grab a slightly smaller roach and see if it's hopefully not the size of the roach that is maybe confusing her a little bit. And again, if we can't get her to accept food from the hand, we're going to try the tray. We'll try tongs. We'll try everything. But I just want to, this is a great way to gauge a non-venomous and, a relatively safe lizard to try to get a feel for them. Okay, she's looking at it. Most interesting. Let's see what happens if we let it crawl around. Okay. Oh, gosh. She looked at it, she stuck her tongue out again, and she did nothing. That is really interesting, because normally even when they go to eat, guys, you've seen me feed my other bearded dragons. If you have a bearded dragon, you know how aggressive that tongue just wham wham to pull that food in is. So this is interesting. Let's try again. I'm going to be a little vigorous with the movement here. And when she goes to, I think, to get it, if she does this time, I'm going to bring it right up to her mouth. You want this? Okay. So, not wanting to eat could be part of the move, even though she came yesterday. But having the reflex and then kind of giving up, making her do a double take, combined with the diarrhea, makes me think that there's some digestive problem going on. Hi. What's up? Nothing. Okay, so what we're going to do is then we've tried that. Let's go ahead, because we weighed her. I'm going to go get that Reptiaid and give her enough, because that's really good for their digestive, to bring their hunger up, any type of internal parasites and things like that. So let's move on to option 2. So since she didn't eat, we're going to use the Reptiaid XL, because she's over 250 grams. This is safe, guys, for all your lizards. This stuff's great. If you haven't used it before and you've got problems, you can take a look. It's really nice. The other cool thing is the scale is right on it, that you can look at the weight of your in grams or in pounds and how much that you should use. So for her, about half a cc for a single dose, and then you can double that for if you think it's more severe. So let's just get some in here. So again, if she would have eaten today, I wouldn't have used the Reptiaid right away. I would have waited a couple days of monitoring her. But since she's not eating, and I was told she didn't eat the day before, so this is day 3 of not eating, which isn't necessarily on its own bad, but again, having laid a clutch and possibly then in 5 days only eaten 2 superworms, that's not a great diet. So we've got some in this little eyedropper. We're not going to give her all of this, but it's just a little suction eyedropper. So let's see the best way for me to get this on like a video. Okay, now she's showing interest in this. I'm going to just take, to start with her, because there's the traumatic way would be I could put this in her mouth and fire some in there, but I'm just going to drop some. Oh, good girl. She goes right for it. Let me zoom this in. She went right for that. Hi. Just kind of getting her lips wet. She's like, what is this? She's just drying off her lips. Give her some drops. It's right there on the tip. Let her lick it. Let her drink it. I'm not squirting it into her mouth. I'm just putting a little drop right on the front of her lips. And she's taking care of the rest. And this is the best way to do it. If she would not have taken it like this, then I'd have to pick her up and go get the plastic syringe, load it up, open up her mouth, and fire it down her throat, which is not great. That's good. She's moving around a little bit because she's confused about this being dripped on her mouth, but that's okay. There's that drop right on the tip of her nose there. And she's taking it down good. Every time you see her react like that, the drop ends up going into her mouth rather than on the front. And that kind of freaks her out a little bit. When they're actually on the top of the outside like that, she just goes and licks it off herself. She's fine. Good. All right. Looks like she's had enough of that. So we're not gonna press her. We've given her a good amount. She still looks good. She's friendly. What we'll do is we're going to let that Reptiaid sink in and then actually come back in about an hour and wiggle a piece of food around in front of her, see if it does anything. Alright, it's been a bit. Why don't we try? See if we can get her. This is going to be the end of the day 2 rescue video. Oh, we got some interest. A lick. Nothing. Alright, no food here on day 2, guys. We'll see you on day 3.